Hello everyone, welcome to Dentistry. Today we are going to start with a new subject called dental materials, and our first lecture on this subject will be on the tarnish and corrosion. Tarnish and corrosion is basically a very basic chapter which you will be getting to know in this subject. So without wasting much time, let's begin our lecture. Let me remind you, you can get the PDF of these slides in our description box. So let's begin. Firstly, what is tarnish? It is defined as a surface discoloration on a metal or even a slight loss or alteration of the surface finish or luster. Means the surface discoloration on a metal. It can also be said as the process by which a metal surface is dulled in brightness or discolored through the formation of a thin film such as the sulfide or oxide layer. Like suppose this is a surface on which a sulfide or oxide layer is formed. Now what it will cause? It will lead it to the discoloration of the surface. This is called tarnish. Okay. Now this is called tarnish. Why it occurs? It generally occurs due to the following reasons. Number one, formation of hard and soft deposits like plaque and calculus. Pigment producing bacteria which causes stains. There are two main types of stains. Let me tell you. Extrinsic stain and intrinsic stain. Okay. However, it is not included. Next is the formation of thin films of oxides and sulfates. Okay. Now, because of this tarnish, it leads to a process called corrosion. Tarnish and corrosion are completely different topics, but tarnish will always lead to corrosion. Okay. These are some images. So these are basically the amalgam restoration. Some amalgam restorations where you will find tarnish or surface discoloration. Okay. Moving ahead, we have corrosion. What is corrosion? Corrosion is defined, unlike tarnish, it is not surface discoloration, but actually it is the deterioration of a metal by reaction with the environment. Means there is no surface discoloration. Obviously, there will be surface discoloration, but it is actually the deterioration of the surface or the deterioration of a metal by reaction with the environment. Okay. So it can be said as a chemical or electrochemical process through which some metals are attacked by natural agents. What are the natural agents? They can be the air or water, resulting in partial or complete dissolution, deterioration, or weakening of any solid surface. Okay? See, I mentioned it here. Next comes the classification of corrosion. Very, very important. Classification of corrosion. Corrosion is classified into two major parts: dry corrosion and wet corrosion. Please note the other names. It is also called chemical corrosion, and wet corrosion is also known as electrolytic or electrochemical wet corrosion. Okay. So what is dry corrosion? What are wet corrosion? We will discuss in our next slides. Dry corrosion. In this, the metals react to form compounds such as oxides and sulfides. This type of corrosion is called dry corrosion since it does not require water. Most important line, it does not require any type of water or any fluid, electrolytes, for it to corrode. Okay. It mainly occurs due to oxides and sulfides layer formation. Hope so it's clear to you. There are some examples like tarnishing of gold alloy due to formation of sulfides. You have already seen it. Or the discoloration of the surfaces of casting caused by oxidation. Or there's one more, that is oxidation of metal surface during soldering and heat treatment procedure. Like what is welding and soldering? You all know joining of metals is called welding and soldering. If any third metal is used to join these two metals, like if I use any third metal here to join these two metals, it is called welding. Without addition of this, is called soldering. We'll discuss it in our further lectures. Topic will be discussed on soldering and welding. Okay. Next, we have the Wet corrosion. What is wet corrosion? As the name suggests, wet. So, means involvement of fluid electrolytes. So, it requires the presence of fluid electrolytes, the presence of saliva, temperature fluctuations, and changes in pH caused by the deposition of foodstuffs contribute to this phenomena. Okay. So what is wet corrosion? It is completely opposite of dry corrosion. In dry corrosion, there was no involvement of fluid electrolytes, whereas in wet corrosion, we have the involvement of fluid electrolytes. Okay, coming on to its classification, subclassification involves galvanic corrosion, stress corrosion, and concentration cell corrosion. This much is clear to you. Moving ahead, what is galvanic corrosion? Galvanic corrosion occurs due to dissimilar metal restorations. Okay, saliva with its salts provides a weak electrolyte. Okay, in your oral cavity or mouth, saliva acts as electrolyte. Okay, it is a weak electrolyte. Galvanic corrosion occurs when dissimilar metals, as I said you, dissimilar metals lie in direct physical contact with each other. Okay, so let me show you. Basically, what happens? Suppose these are your teeth. Okay, and you have got your restoration. Okay, let me do it with other color. Now see. Now these two have different colors means different metals are used or dissimilar metals restoration. Now while occlusion, these two teeth will come in contact with each other. While they come in contact, there'll occur a galvanic shock. See, it's mentioned here. If gold restoration comes in contact with an amalgam restoration, for example, suppose this is gold restoration and this is amalgam restoration. Okay, the amalgam will form the anode and starts corroding. The electric couple created when the two restorations touch each other, causing a sharp pain called galvanic shock or the galvanic pain. Okay, a sharp shooting pain will occur, leading to micro leakage of this amalgam restoration. So as a result, what will happen? This restoration will come out, okay, leading to exposure of pulp. Now it occurs immediately after insertion and can be minimized by painting a varnish on the surface of amalgam restoration. Now the pain occurs due to the occlusion. Now what we will do, being a dentist, what we will do, we'll apply a paint of varnish. What is varnish? It is a thin layer which is applied in order to prevent the direct contact of the two teeth. Okay. So it will protect your amalgam restoration as well as it will prevent this galvanic shock. Lectures on varnish, liners and base will be given to you in your further dates. Okay. However, the best precaution is to prevent dissimilar metals in contact. As we say, prevention is better than cure. So it's obviously better not to use two dissimilar metals for restoration. Okay. Then another variation of galvanic corrosion can occur even in lone standing restoration. So what is galvanic corrosion? It's clear to you. It's very, very important. One of the most frequently asked corrosion in your exams. Next, we have, okay, look at this picture. Two dissimilar metals come in contact with each other. Circuit is completed. Okay, cathode anode circuit is completed. What was the electrolyte? The saliva acting as electrolyte. Okay, circuit is completed. It will create galvanic shock. Next, we have the stress corrosion. What is stress corrosion? A metal which has been stressed by cold working becomes more reactive at the site of maximum stress. Okay, if stressed and unstressed metals are in contact in an electrolyte, the stressed metal will become the anode. Obviously, the one which is stressed will become the anode and the other will become cathode and it will corrode. The anode one will corrode as it was seen in amalgam restoration. There's the example. Orthodontic wire has been cold worked, stress corrosion may occur and cause the wire to break. Now, so these are some types of corrosion we have discussed. Now, what are the methods to minimize this corrosion? One method I have already said, like painting the varnish over the layer of amalgam restoration, it will prevent the DA contact of the two dissimilar metals. What are the other methods? Let's see. Other methods include homogeneous and uniform polishing, reduces scratches, speeds for causing concentration cell corrosion. Okay. Next, avoiding dissimilar metal, obviously one of the most important point. Increasing noble metal content like gold, coating the restoration with noble metals and other organic paints. Passivating alloys, using homogenized alloys, avoiding unnecessary bending and burnishing of the restoration margins, and also avoiding overheating during heat treatment, soldering, welding, and sterilization. So these are some points following which we can minimize corrosion. There's another topic, namely the factors affecting the rate of corrosion, which I've not mentioned here, but yeah, you can write. What are the factors which can affect corrosion? There are certain factors like the nature of the metal. There's the distance between the cathode and anode sites, or the temperature and pH as well. So all these are certain factors which can affect the rate of corrosion. You can write, I am dictating it. Number one is the nature of metals. Number two is the temperature. Third point is the pH, and finally it is the distance between anode and cathode. Okay, so these are certain factors that will affect your rate of corrosion. So that's it for today. This much only we have in tarnish and corrosion. Hope you guys have understood the topic tarnish and corrosion, because it's very important and one of the most favorite topics asked in your terminals or prof exams. Thank you so much. You can like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel Dentitionary, and please be in contact for getting more such videos. Thank you.